Hey guys, in this video I want to show you a pentatonic exercise that will not only make you a faster, more precise player, but it'll help you memorize the scale shapes so well that you won't even have to look while you're playing. It's a ridiculously cool exercise. Let me show you. Start by picking a pentatonic scale. I'm just going to pick A minor pentatonic, the regular position 1 scale that is kind of the bread and butter for most people. To play the exercise, all we're going to do is just start at the beginning of the scale and play 3 notes going forward the way that we normally would. 1, 2, 3. Once we complete that group of 3, no matter what note we're on, in this case it's this note right here, we're just going to go back 1 note and then start another group of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at this note, so we're just going to go back 1 note. This is the note directly behind it. So we're going to go here, and that'll be 1, 2, 3. To play the whole exercise very slowly would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when we reach the top of the scale, we're done. A couple things to clarify about this exercise. First of all, I want to address the most common mistake. What's not happening is we're going forward 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and then we reset back and then do another 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3. That's wrong, because that back note, when you go backwards, that doesn't count as its own thing. That just is the first note of the next group of 3. So it's not like 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, back, 1, 2, 3, back, so on and so forth. It's a nice even roll of 3 notes the entire time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on all the way up the scale. The other thing that people kind of get confused about, and just remember the rule of this exercise, is that once you reach the end of your group of 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever note you're on, you just go back to the previous note that was in the pentatonic scale. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, all the way up the scale. That's kind of the golden rule of this exercise. Once you complete your group, just go back 1 note and restart. So that's how you play the exercise. I want to break down exactly how I would practice this exercise. And there's several layers to it, both in difficulty and in complexity. But before we get to that, I want to talk about why this works so well. Because over the course of this exercise, you're going to have approached every note from each direction, going forward and back, and there's a lot of switching direction, it just simulates the real world so well. Because when you're taking a solo, you're not thinking about just going forward, just going back, you're just trying to create a phrase. And this kind of distills a lot of the actual, fine motor movement, the actual mechanics of playing into an exercise really well. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Every student I've ever given this exercise to, if they commit to it for at least 5 minutes a day, they end up memorizing the scales so well that they don't even have to look when they're playing. Like I said, they can just feel it out. It's really cool. Hey guys, I want to jump in real fast and say that if you're enjoying the video, please consider sponsoring it by becoming a member on Patreon. Over there, I have a 63-point list of everything to learn on guitar in order. I call it the roadmap, and I teach it along with recommended practice routines. And if you're watching a practice video, you might be interested in that. If Patreon's not your thing, I also have traditional video courses. I just released the Beginner Breakthrough course that focuses on changing chords quickly, bar chords, and strumming. Links are in the description. Please check it out. Back to the video. Anyway, how would I practice this exercise? Like I said, there's layers to it, both the difficulty and the complexity. So let's just think about practicing pentatonic scales for a moment. The first thing that you should do is just practice running up and down the pentatonic scales, just getting them under your hands, right? I'm imagining a player who maybe just learned like the pentatonic scale for the first time. Their practice might just look like this. At whatever speed is comfortable for them. And I know I keep using the minor pentatonic scale, position 1 here. This exercise and the practice routine I'm describing applies to any of the 5 pentatonic scales. If you want to learn about those, I recently made a deep dive video. The link is in the description. The second layer of practicing pentatonic scales, I think, would be to introduce this exercise. So we're not going to have any time constraints, no metronome or anything like that. All you can do is just kind of get it under your hands. Just stumble through, figuring it out initially. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It can be as clunky as it needs to be, just so long as you get the right notes. Next, we're going to introduce a metronome. And the reason we're doing that is because once you have a metronome, not only is that going to, add rhythm to your playing, your playing will be, evenly spaced and consistent, but also being able to slowly turn up the speed on the metronome gives you a variable that you can manipulate here. It gives you something that you can actually make incrementally more difficult about this exercise, and that's important. The first layer of metronome practice is going to be to practice with quarter notes. Let me show you. All right, so I got a metronome pulled up on my phone. It's set to 65 beats a minute. Remember, quarter notes are just counted 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking about it. I'm hearing the speed. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's what it would look like to lock into a metronome on quarter notes. Now what you should do is, as you get better at that, start at whatever speed is comfortable for you. I just picked 65 beats a minute as a demonstration. But start whatever speed is comfortable for you and just slowly increase that speed. You can increase it by 1 beat per minute. Go from 65 to 66 if that's all you can handle. But maybe 5 or 10 beat increments once you've kind of got one speed down is probably what most people should do. The next layer of difficulty is going to be to still use a metronome, but instead of playing quarter notes, this time play eighth notes. Remember, the eighth notes are counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're going to be playing faster with this. You might have to decrease your speed. I'm going to stay at 65 beats a minute, again, just for demonstration, but the key here is to do the speed that's comfortable for you and then slowly increase that. Here's what it would look like to practice this exercise with eighth notes. Turn on the metronome, just listen, kind of get a feel for the speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then prepare yourself by counting eighth notes. It'll be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to keep counting that, and then I'm just going to jump in with the exercise. Here's what it would look like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The next layer of complexity would be to practice this with 16th notes. It's another subdivision. So we went from quarter notes to eighth notes. Now we're in 16th notes. These are counted 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So it's getting faster. Again, I can't emphasize enough. Adjust your speed accordingly. Here's 16th notes. Again, I'm just kind of listening for speed. I'm getting it in my head. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Once you get to the point where you can play this exercise with 16th notes, don't go back. All right, we'll get to some of the upper limits of speed tips in just a moment, but once you can do that, I want you to start introducing another complexity that doesn't have anything to do with rhythm. All that is just playing it backwards. So once you can go up with 16th notes, I want you to start playing the exercise backwards down the scale. So instead of forward 3, back 1, this will be back 3, forward 1. It's kind of confusing, but here's what it would look like starting going up. And I'm not going to use the metronome for this demonstration because I just want to show y'all what this would look like. Then we'll introduce the metronome. So here's the regular exercise going forward 3 and back 1. And then here's what it would look like to go backwards. Back 3 and forward 1. 1, 2, 3, then forward. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Finally, you would combine all of it and try to play the exercise up and backwards with 16th notes. Here's what that would look like. You'll notice that at the end there, in the middle, when I got to the top, I kind of played that note twice. And when I got to the bottom, I played that note twice. I don't care if you take a moment to kind of, rest at the top and kind of, collect yourself, just so long as you can play up and then back with the metronome. That's all I really care about. All right, so I showed you guys how to do the exercise. I showed you a practice routine with the difficulty progression. Where do you go from here? First thing you should do is understand that you can and should do this for all 5 positions of the pentatonic scale instead of just the first position. I've been demonstrating everything in the first position, obviously. But you should do this for all 5. You should go to position 2, for example. And you should do that for all 5 positions. Again, if you want clarity on what those 5 positions are, I just did a deep dive on it, link in the description. Next question is speed. About how fast should you get at this? Like I said, start at whatever speed is comfortable. The main goal initially is to get to 16th notes. However slow you have to go to get to 16th notes is totally fine. I really want you to kind of race to get to 16th notes though. Once you can do that, start trying to play this exercise with 16th notes as fast as you can. Obviously the speed is the difficulty variable, so you can up that to up the difficulty and improve your skills. I'll say that for me, the rule of thumb that I say is kind of the max for most people is about 140 beats a minute. If you can play 16th notes at 140 beats a minute, I think you're officially a fast player. Now you might want to go beyond that. If you're really all about shred, or if you just really like playing fast, feel free to go beyond. But for most people, at 140 beats a minute, you're not going to be held back by your speed if you just want to be like a good general player. Another thing to point out before we wrap this up is that this is a cool lick in itself. So a lot of people say, oh, you can just play the pentatonic scale up and down. If you do that with rhythm, then you're basically taking a solo already. Some of that is true, some of it's not. This actually is just a cool lick that you could throw into a solo in its own right. I do this all the time. So I'll be soloing just like in A minor pentatonic, I just take like kind of regular blues solos, And then if I want to transition, for example, down to a lower part of the scale, I can just rip this lick and it works as a really cool transition. And really fast, there's actually a cool example of this in the real world that I encountered recently. I'm preparing a video on Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd, and I'm going over the solo, and kind of toward the beginning of the end solo, David Gilmour plays like a small section of this lick. I'm not going to play a long bit of the solo because I don't want this video to get a copyright strike, but listen to this little excerpt. This is kind of towards the beginning of the end solo. That move right there, that was our exercise. That was back 3, forward 1 for just a brief little clip. One final thing to mention about this is that this exercise can actually be modified further into a slightly different exercise. So this is kind of a completely different thing, but I do want to mention it in this video. Instead of going forward 3, back 1, you could go forward 4, back 1, like this. That's kind of the other half of this exercise, just so y'all know, to kind of zoom out really far. The 3 forward back 1 thing is interesting because you end up having odd note groupings, obviously groups of 3, that's an odd grouping. And so it doesn't fall exactly on the beat in a 4/4 time signature, and that's kind of what makes it interesting. A 4-note grouping would fall on the beat in a 4/4 time signature. So it's also interesting, but kind of in a different way. It kind of locks into a regular like rhythm grid a little bit better. Maybe that version of the exercise deserves its own video, but here in the where do you go from here section at the end of the video, I did want to mention it. Finally, if you want to go further, not just on this topic, but on other topics, do check out the Patreon. I'm really proud of the stuff I have over there right now, and if Patreon's not your thing, I have video courses, and maybe one of those is right for you. Practice super hard, and as always, thank you for watching.